Hi everybody. I meant to do a couple of videos last night, but building a UFO. You see that down in there? 12-foot trampoline for the boys. Is that even on there? A giant swimming pool last year, paddling pool. I built this at the weekend as well. This old climbing frame. Me and my brother-in-law just chucked it all together. I hope you can hear all this. I'm going to sit down there anyway. But yeah, so for Laurie Gale in particular, I keep saying I'm going to tell things and then I forget. I was doing that till 9 last night. So get that in there. So a couple of things. I want to just quickly look at this. Showed you it quickly before. But like people talking about the ether, water having consciousness. Look at this character here. Can you see him? He's a waterman. Conscious water. And of course, Rincewind is looking for the 8th colour of the spectrum. He even briefly dresses up as an astronaut. To go over the edge. Does make the brain tick, huh? Before I forget, I was at my mum's on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. My nephew, I spoke about him before, he came round and he had a young lady friend with him. And you'll never guess what her name was. Her name was Destiny. Believe it or not, I've never met anyone called Destiny. And within a week, our friend Jazz Sinclair meets a young lady called Destiny, and my nephew comes round my house, my mum's house, with a girlfriend called Destiny. How bizarre, eh? Just also quickly, I want to touch on the I am catching up. I want to touch on the debate quickly last week, the week before. I've watched a lot of debates in the last sort of 10-15 years. Quite a few at one point involving Christopher Hitchens and all his many opponents. For me, it's never about winning or losing, who wins or loses. It's about how they operate. I even watched quite a few debates between students, yeah, and their first time they've ever done it. I have to say, I don't think Antonio, Nathan and JLB did that bad. For a first attempt, I was impressed. Content was a little bit lacking, but I wasn't expecting much more. I hope they have another go, and I hope they have a debate with other people as well. That would be nice. Alright, so briefly, I just want to talk about some dreams I had. Many dreams over my life. Some of them stick, some of them don't. Some of them have meant something, and some of them haven't. A long time ago, I had a recurring dream, and it was in a strange garden, strange area. It was very green, there was trees everywhere, and there was a row of sheds. And there was a giant blue bottle. You know, the big flying flies, the big noisy ones? But it wasn't noisy, but it was blue, and it was flying around. And this dream kept coming back to me for years, and in and out of the sheds there was, like dreams are, I can't remember what was in them or what was beyond this area. But a few years later, after, you know, this had been happening, this dream had kept coming back. I had a small issue with my lady, and we separated for a while, and I went through a little rough patch. And I was living at my mum's. My stepdad was still around. And one night I went and had a few beers in the pub, feeling sorry for myself. Came home, worse for wear, and had probably the worst argument I'd ever had with my mum, my stepdad, And even my poor little sister sort of got involved. I don't remember too much about it, except for shouting a lot, crying a lot, and getting that giant scar here on my hand, L-shaped up there. I was pissed, but I was trying to cook myself something to eat. There was a blue Pyrex cooking dish. And while I was holding it and screaming and shouting and waving my arms around, I smacked my hand on the door. The dish blew apart and went straight in, and being pissed, I got even angry and stormed off while my mum was trying to hold me back. My stepdad was almost crying because he was so upset he hadn't seen me like that before. And then I went and sat in the woods all night, and about 4 o'clock in the morning I woke up, my hand was all covered in black blood. Wasn't, you know, really with it, but I walked myself down to the hospital. It wasn't too far away. I had it stitched up, and the young nurse gave me odd looks. Oh, pistol, was there? Yeah, another one. And that was one of the last times I ever got drunk. A few weeks ago, a couple of months maybe, my sister said to me, my youngest one who was there, and she must have been 8 or 9 at the time, and we was talking about arguments and things, and since my dad's gone, and this is just the way it goes sometimes, my mum has no one to argue with, so home life for her has been different than it was for me. And she remembers that argument, and she says, the way she spoke, she spoke about it as though I was actually crazy. And I may have been at that time. I was definitely drunk that night. But there's nothing wrong with me now. I have some weird dreams, and so do many, but I was far more crazy that night, and that night I thought about that fucking blue bottle all night. And them sheds, that row of sheds, they was not in my mum's garden at that time. It was only after my dad died, my stepdad died. My mum had a bit of money, and she bought me 2 sheds to try and start a business. And yeah, I put them up in her garden. And that then was the connection of that whole dream, which had all that dream had happened beforehand. Before the argument with the smashing of the hand, and before the buying of the sheds. And yet I dreamed for years about a blue bottle and a row of sheds. And the sheds are lined up. It's weird. Put one in front of the other with doors facing each other so I could do my work through the 2 doorways. I had another little dream I shared with Laurie as well, years ago. As a young man, I dreamed of running away from someone on a yellow sand brick estate. And it was a young lady I was running from in my dreams. And yes, later on in life I did find myself on a yellow brick estate after a small encounter with a young lady. I'll go into that one another time a bit more. But, dreams, you know that film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? I dreamed of running on rooftops and the tips of trees before that film came out. I don't know if I saw it in other films, but I thought that was the first time that sort of technique had been used and shown on film. My dreams, I had already done that, and that was bizarre watching that film for the first time. That deja vu, we all know about that one. I'll come back to that deja vu another time. So just to finish up, I'm going to read my little Shadowkind. Don't worry about this, this will be here all day. I'm just going to read it out, say goodbye, and I might come back in a bit. Well, no, oh, sorry, I will come back in a bit. What am I to do? The world be torn in 2. Left is right, and up is down, and all that's right is wrong. Why, oh why, I hear you cry, an echo of my own. It's all a joke, a mad, sad, crying game, an act of epic proportions, a play to end all plays. But why, I cry, each night inside my head? What's it for, this crazy show? What is it all about? I know there's something very wrong, but I've seen those stupid old nuke vids, and fake is not the word. Those clips from space, a capital S for shit in space. Poncy old symbols thrown in blind faces, confounded with myth and legends of old. Tales of our past are lost to the wind, giants and elves, angels and demons. A ragtag of misfits and all sorts of races. The truth is beyond most, if any at all, hidden away, forgotten or lost. I cannot say what I wish to say, or they will come for me. They'll target those that I hold close, or that's what I'm supposed to think. I know there's something going on. I know that most don't see. I know that we're all being herded, both physically and mentally, but more important, maybe, is the full circle herding of humanity's spiritual awareness. Round and round we go, round and round they make us go, but round and round is where they go. Just in front or just behind, always there, the Shadowkind. It's supposed to make sense, it's just words. My words. Okay, peace and luck. See you soon. Thanks for listening.